Hello. Okay, so good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Today I have a paper discussion session with my teacher, so I can do live on that time. I usually do so. Now I am doing this. Let me share my screen first. Okay, so today I will read Bhagavad Gita chapter 10, the Yoga of Divine Splendor. So, Sri Krishna is unknown and unknowable. He is adhoksha, adhokshaja beyond the reach of the sense, beyond the comprehension of the mind and intelligence. No amount of ascending endeavors on the part of the living beings can reach Krishna, but in an instant he can descend to reveal himself. Through Krishna is their origin not even the demigods and the great sages such as Brahma, Indra, Shankar, Durvasha, Morich, and others known Krishna as he is, but one who is Krishna's devotee, the Bhakti Yogi, known Krishna as the Supreme Person situated in the core of his heart. The topmost dharma of mankind is that by which they can attain devotion unto the Supreme Person, who is Adhokshaja and who cannot be known by the material sense. But Bhakti Yogi must be unmotivated and uninterpreted to fully satisfy the self. Krishna gives birth to creation and to all things, but he himself is without birth. Still, when Krishna appears on earth, as he did some 500 years ago, 500 years ago to speak Bhagavad Gita, he accepts his devotees Vashu, Vasudeva and Devaki as his parents and appears as the sun seems to manifest from the ocean at the beginning of each day. Krishna first revealed himself in the heart of Va- Vasudeva and then transferred himself to the heart of Devaki. From there he appeared from her heart into the world. It is inconceivable, but Krishna appears in the world without taking birth. The great Bhagavad Gita commentator Sri Vishwanathan Chakraborty says that the power of Krishna to be eternally unborn and at the same time take birth is due to Krishna's inconceivable energy, a Chaitanya Shakti. If Krishna were not inconceivable, a Chaitanya, then he would not be the supreme person. Vishwanatha confirms that one who understands this is never bewildered and is free from all karma. All things good and bad, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, etc., arise from Krishna. But this is not to be encouraged fatalistic approach to life. The bhakti yogi is encouraged to use his intelligence to discriminate between favorable and unfavorable situation, accepting that which is favorable for bhakti yoga and rejecting that which is unfavorable. One should accept those things that are favorable for bhakti and reject those things that are unfavorable. The seven sages are Murichi, Bhrigu, Atri, Pulshatra, Pulaha, Kratu, Kratu, and Vaishishtu. The four, the four Kumaras are Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana, and Sanat Kumara. There are 14 Manus in one day of Brahman. These Manus are progenitors of mankind that popular life through, throughout the universe. All these personalities manifest from the mind of Krishna and appears in the material world as the sons of Brahma. These are all wonderful activities and cannot be understood by ordinary people. Only Krishna's most confidential devotee can understand his true nature. Such a yogi is free from duality, is united with Krishna and sees him in all things as the absolute truth. Krishna assured us that of this there is no doubt. Verses 8 to 11 of his chapter are said to contain the ontological substances of Bhagavad Gita. Herein Sri Krishna established himself as the source of the material and spiritual worlds and the origin of Brahman and Paramatma. By the use of the word Sarvasya means everything. He also established himself as the origin of Narayana in Vaikuntha, the master of all potencies. In the pantheon of demigods, we find that Brahma is master of Shatalok, Shiva is the master of Shivalok, Indra the master of the Indralok. But now, where do we find it says that anyone is master and origin of everyone and everything except Sri Krishna? The understanding that Krishna is Sarvasya compels the wise of worship Krishna in love with all their hearts. Krishna says, Makchitra, always think of me and meditate on me. Mad Karta Prana, dedicate your life to me. In association with the wise, engage in discussion about us, in enlivening and enlightening each other. This is the proper way of meditation and engagement for the mind and senses. Discussing about Krishna is called Krishna Katha or Shravana and Kirtana, hearing and chanting. This means to hear and chant Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and other such literature and to perform Sankirtana, the congenitual chanting of the Mahamantra. This hearing and chanting of the name and the activities of Krishna constitutes the topmost system of yoga. Krishna verifies in the Padma Purana that he resides wherever his name is chanted. I do not re- I do not reside in Vaikuntha, nor in the hearts of the lesser yogis. I remain where my devotees engage in glorifying my activities and chanting my names. Although there are 9 processes in Bhakti Yoga to fulfill, engage oneself in devotees of Krishna. Of this, hearing and chanting are the first and foremost. Hearing and chanting the Mahamantra and the activities of Vishnu or Krishna, remembering him, serving him lotus feet, offering him respectful worship, offering praise to him, becoming his servant, considering him as one's dearest friend, and surrendering everything to him. These nine processes are accepted as Bhakti Yoga. In verse 10, we find the word Pritri Purvakam. Priti means love, but this love should not be confused with the love and affection of the material world, which is shared between conditioned living beings. Priti is the state of pure affection wherein no expression of selfishness or mundane lust can be found. Such love, such Such love is the requirement of the worshipping Krishna, and such love is the key of an eternal bond with him. Those who have attained such love for Krishna by Bhakti Yoga are continuously empowered by him with the inspiration of pure devotion, by which they may come to him. Krishna dual Krishna dwells in his heart of all living beings as the Paramatma, the super consciousness, and directs the wanderings of everyone. When one's desire to know Krishna, to serve Krishna, and to enter into an eternal relationship with Him, then out of comparison for them, Krishna personally manifests in their hearts and destroys with the shining lamp of knowledge and darkness born of ignorance. It is said that Krishna is light and ignorance is darkness. Krishna is compared to the sun and Maya. Ignorance is like the darkness. Where there is Krishna, there can never be any darkness. Wherever light appears, darkness is banished. Thus, when Krishna personally appears in the heart of the Bhakti Yogi, all darkness and despair vanish, and one is supremely enlightened. This is quietness of the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna said, "You are the supreme Bhagavana, the supreme refugee, and the most pure. You are the eternal supreme person, the most effulgent and the original divinity, unborn and all pervading." All the sages such as Naroda, Ashitra, Devala, and Vash have thus stated this just as the you have declared this unto me. But Sri Krishna has said and says that only Krishna actually knows himself. The absolute truth is infinite, and the living beings like Arjuna are finite and thus are inherently unable to fulfill, comprehend, and splendor of Krishna. Yet for Arjuna to hear of such splendor is spiritual food for meditation. Arjuna addressed Krishna as Yogi, the master of mystic power, and asked how he should be meditated upon him. In these remaining verses of his chapter, Krishna outlines how one should think of him, but in the last verses he concludes by saying that here there is no necessity of thinking of him in an indirect or abstract way, because with just a mere portion of his self he supports the entire universe. Thus, Krishna indicates to Arjuna that to meditate on his personal form is the ultimate meditation. In the above verses, Sri Krishna has stated that all these great and wonderful things of the world represents him. States this so that we will understand that whatever is famous, beautiful, and glorious in this world is manifest from him alone. The splendor of Krishna is unlimited, but unlimitedly Krishna says that there is no necessity of Arjuna to perform indirect meditation when the absolute truth is standing in front of him. Therefore, Krishna says to Arjuna that he simply meditate on that form. There is no form of Krishna superior to that which was standing in front of Arjuna at Kurukshetra, save and except for the form of Krishna when he appeared as a youth in the forest of Vrindavana on the banks of the river Yamuna, casting sidelong glances, his flute in his hand and his transcendental body bending in the three places. Oh, friend, if you are attached to your companions in the world, then do not gaze on the enchanting smile of Govinda as he stands on the bank of Yamuna at Keshighata. Casting sidelong glances, he placed his flute to his lips, which are compared to newly blossomed bud. His divine body bending in three places appears most effulgent in the light of the moon. Krishna appeared in Vrindav- in Vrindavana, India 5 to 7 years ago and performed his pastimes of love with his devotees and with those who had reached perfection through Bhakti Yogi. The pastime of Krishna in Vrindavana are recorded in the 10th canto of the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam and have inspired the students of the Bhakti Yogi for the past 50 centuries. In the final chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna will inform Arjuna that whoever surrenders unto him will attain the supreme awarded Golok Vrindavana. Om Tarshat. Thus ends the chapter 10 entitled Vibhuti Yoga. From the conversation between Sri Krishna and Arjuna in the Upanishad known as Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the Yoga Shastra of divine knowledge from the Bhishma Parva of Mahabharata, the literature revealed by Vesh in 100,000 verse. So now I'll stop the sharing.